Hello and welcome to my hobby table. So hopefully by the time this video is posted and aired, many of you will have already seen the break-in run of this engine, which is the recently acquired Aviastar 46 that I got from swap meet here locally. And if you watched that video, you saw many of the issues that I had, or all of the issues I had while I was trying to run this engine. And I figured this would be a good time to just pull the carb off and take a little bit closer look and try to explain exactly what it was that I was seeing and feeling. So I'm going to zoom in as far in here as possible. And as soon as I took this carb off, I pulled it up and I noticed one thing right away. Which was that, I don't know if you can see that, where is it? There it is. That O-ring is not happy. It's broken. So I'm pretty sure that that's not going to be a good thing for sealing. So it probably contributed to some of the issues that I was seeing. But I think one of the other issues I was talking about, and the engine would have been facing like that and the camera angle is like this, is that, now I'm not saying that other carbs don't have a little bit of a issue like that, not issue, a little bit of play, but what I thought I was seeing yesterday was more of a play kind of this way. Can you see that at all? You see how that kind of, can you see it? Do it this way maybe. It's really hard to see. I'm looking up in this. So I just feel a very slight, there, maybe you can see it there, very slight movement. So all I'm really going to do is take this throttle stop screw out, or it's a throttle stop and barrel. Maybe this is only a barrel retention screw, but I don't believe it is. We'll find out here. So I'm just going to take that out, but I wanted to show you how small these little nuts can be. And oftentimes they're a lot thinner than the wrench you've got to use. In fact, on a lot of OS's, if you don't have the little wrench that came with the OS engine, which is super thin, one of these ignition wrenches, as they used to be called, would be so tall, thickness wise, they would actually grab both the locking OS throttle stop screws had a locking nut, and then the holder was actually knurled also, so you can kind of grab on both. But you would grab both of these. Now, I used to have an old Craftsman set of these, and they were called ignition wrenches. I have not seen a set of Craftsman ignition wrenches sold anymore. These are just called mini wrenches that I got, and I showed these in a video. But so, and I wasn't really able to get in there because if you look here, I'll put it on the engine here real quick. If you put it on the engine, it's like, how are you supposed to get in here and do anything with that? So that's why I was saying you really got to kind of play with that before, and have that kind of preset before you even, you know, start running the engine. So I'm just going to unscrew this thing, and this should just come right out here. I'm going to take this completely out. We'll look at this screw too. Yeah, see how that thing just, so there's a spring in there, which there should be. This should have a long nose on it. So yes, this is basically an idle or throttle stop and a barrel retention screw all at the same time. So here's our barrel, and if we do this, we should be able to get that spring to come out of there. I think there should be a spring. I can't see. Let me grab my flashlight. Yeah, there's the spring in there. If the spring doesn't want to come out, that's okay. I'll leave it in there. But you can see here, maybe. I'm going to try and look at the cat's eye. Oh yeah, so this is really interesting. I really, really wish I could get that light shining in there. I don't know if that helps or if it's just better like this. But there is a cat's eye. Let me get that spring out of there real quick. There's that spring. There is a spray bar. Yeah. So this thing's got a cutout like this. and then the spray bar is in there. I don't know if I can get that, so and I don't want to pull that thing out because that could actually be pressed in place. Just for the heck of it, let's see if I can find a wrench that'll, maybe I can just take this thing off real quick. I don't know if that's going to help matters. I think that spray bar is probably press fit in. Yeah, so the spray bar mechanism is press fit in here. See, I mean, this looks really high quality. I mean, to me, it looks like high quality, but this is press fit in there, so I'm not going to be able to take it out. Suffice it to say that this is a similar design to a Super Tiger, where it's got a spray bar that goes through, and it's got a cat's eye, except instead of a cat's eye, this has just got a straight slot, but the spray bar itself is a grooved piece like that. But let me just tighten that thing up again real quick here. I like how it had that nice little, it was just this fitment here that, maybe you can see it here. See just that little slight fore and aft. It's almost just like there's just not quite enough. The tolerances are just a little bit wide there, but I mean, maybe a lot of it had to do with this O-ring not being sealing correctly, but I mean, it sure seemed, and that could be the direct result of why we're having such idle and transition issues, really. The difference in performance between the glow plugs has nothing to do with this at all. So that is kind of a quick look inside of this very simple Carb. And what happens here is that spray bar is fixed, and you've got this little jet here, and that engages this way into the spray bar as this is rotated. So that's how it meters the fuel. So that's pretty much all there is to this. I'm gonna have to see if I've got a different O-ring that I can install on that, and maybe I can go throw this engine back out on the, try to find a way to get this thing more closely adjusted properly first. I like it so that it's tight enough that, see, I wish this screw was a little bit tighter, because the OS throttle stop assemblies, or yeah, throttle stop assemblies were nice because you could kind of sort of semi-tighten it, and then it would be tight enough so that you could make adjustments. But some of these, this simple design like this is like, you tighten that down and it may just tighten that thing down too. I don't know, or it's just so loose the way it screws in and out of there, it may want to self-adjust. So there might not be a way to tighten that down. I can tighten it down such that it'll be at a fixed depth, so it'll do the throttle stop, but it might still want to move. I don't know, we'll have to see. But anyway, so that's a quick and dirty look inside of this Aviastar 46 Carb, and you know, what I think might be a little bit of a tolerance issue on it.